In 1701, the War of the Spanish Succession erupted, following the death of Charles II of Spain, who left behind no heir. This sparked a fierce dispute over who should claim the Spanish throne. Amidst the chaos, Queen Anne seized the opportunity to strike at her enemies. In 1702, she issued a pivotal proclamation, empowering English privateers to target French and Spanish ships through letters of marque. Armed with these government-issued licenses, privateers set sail to plunder enemy vessels and dream of getting gold without the fear of being jailed by their government. Before pirates became the scourge of the seas, privateers played a significant role in shaping maritime history. Privateers were basically licensed pirates, authorized by governments to attack and plunder enemy ships during wartime. These sailors walked a fine line between piracy and patriotism, often becoming wealthy through their exploits. However, as wars ended and licenses expired, unemployment grew. Captains couldn't pay their crews, and many privateers turned to piracy, setting the stage for the Golden Age of Piracy. As the War of the Spanish Succession drew to a close, thousands of sailors and privateers found themselves out of work, frustrated with British neglect and fed up with Spanish abuse. Many turned to piracy, leveraging the skills they'd honed during the war. Benjamin Hornigold, one of the first to make this transition, brought along Edward Teach. Both had served together on Jamaican privateers and were now struggling with poverty in Port Royal. Hornigold convinced Teach and other former shipmates to join him in attacking Spanish ships, solving their financial woes while targeting their enemies. All they needed was a base and a small ship that was seaworthy. Hornigold knew the perfect spot for their base of operations. Once a thriving settlement, Nassau lay in ruins after a 1703 Franco-Spanish expedition. By 1713, the island was all but abandoned, with fewer than 40 families barely making a living. Upon entering, Hornigold's crew found Nassau in ruins, with buildings collapsed and overgrown with vines and tropical vegetation. The town was a shadow of its former self, reclaimed by the jungle. Hornigold and his crew transformed Nassau into a pirate haven. They built sturdy boats, launched raids on Spanish vessels and plantations, and amassed a fortune in silks, silver, and gold. Over 6 months, they plundered cargo worth 13,175 pounds, a staggering sum. Nassau's strategic location, nestled in busy sea lanes between Spanish territories, made it an ideal hub. As Hornigold's success spread, other former privateers flocked to Nassau. By 1715, over 2,000 ex-privateers had invaded New Providence, establishing the island as a pirate stronghold. Hornigold's gamble had paid off, and Nassau became the epicenter of a burgeoning pirate empire. In the Golden Age of Piracy, one name struck more fear than any other. Meet Edward Teach, the infamous pirate captain known to the world as Blackbeard. His nickname, Blackbeard, originated from his distinctive black beard, which he often braided with ribbons and lit fuses during battles, striking fear into the hearts of his enemies. This intimidating appearance was just one aspect of Blackbeard's persona, which would become synonymous with piracy and brutality. But a reputation can only get you so far. You need power. And Blackbeard found his when he captured a massive French slave ship called the La Concorde. He didn't just take it, he made it his monster. He renamed it the Queen Anne's Revenge, and it wasn't just a ship. This 40-gun frigate was a formidable vessel, boasting a length of over 100 feet and a crew of over 300 men. Blackbeard revamped the ship, adding more guns and fortifications, transforming it into his ultimate pirate vessel. The Queen Anne's Revenge became an iconic symbol of Blackbeard's reign of terror on the high seas. The Queen Anne's Revenge was a marvel of its time, with its hull designed for speed and maneuverability. Its 40 guns made it a force to be reckoned with on the high seas. Blackbeard's modifications allowed him to dominate the Caribbean, striking fear into the hearts of merchant ships and naval vessels alike. With the Queen Anne's Revenge at his command, Blackbeard's pirating career reached new heights as he plundered ships and ports with impunity. One of Blackbeard's most daring exploits was the blockade of Charleston, South Carolina. In May 1718, he sailed his entire fleet right up to Charleston, South Carolina, and blocked the entire city. He held the port hostage, not for treasure, but for medicine. The city officials eventually accepted Blackbeard's demands, and Blackbeard got what he wanted. It wasn't just a raid, it was a message. Blackbeard was a pirate who could bring an entire city to its knees.
What of Thatch, sir? Did he fall? Captain?
He drinks damnation.
With a reputation of bravery, cunning, and ruthlessness, leaving a trail of terror and defying authority at every turn, meet Charles Vane, one of the most notorious English pirates to rule the Caribbean with an iron fist. Vane started his pirating career working under Henry Jennings for a relatively short period. By 1717, Vane had gained enough experience and confidence to command his own vessels. Around the same time, Vane and his crew captured a 20-gun French vessel, which he transformed into his flagship named the Ranger. Vane would progress further, becoming one of the leaders of the Republic of Pirates in Nassau. Vane's refusal to accept the king's pardon was a defining moment in his pirating career. In 1718, Governor Woodes Rogers arrived in Nassau with a fleet of ships, blockading any means of escape through sea. He offered a pardon to all pirates who would surrender. However, Vane defiantly rejected the offer, opting instead to launch a brave assault on the British fleet. Vane's bravery and cunning were on full display during the blockade. With his ship trapped in the harbor, Vane cleverly set fire to a captured French vessel, turning it into a fireship, and sent it towards the British blockade. The British ships scrambled to avoid the inferno, allowing Vane to escape through the chaos. Vane's defiance earned him a reputation as a ruthless and fearless pirate, willing to take risks and refusing to give up anything. In the annals of history, few names ring with such a blend of awe and fear as Bartholomew Roberts, a man who single-handedly captured an entire ship without a single shot. He was a force of nature during the Golden Age of Piracy, with a fleet of over 400 captured ships and hundreds more sent to the seabed. His name became synonymous with a fortune so vast, he could have lived 100 lives in luxury. Before he was the infamous king of the pirates, Bartholomew Roberts had a very different life. His sailing career began at the tender age of 13, working as a sailor and navigator. Soon working his way up from a simple sailor to the second mate of a ship called the Princess. But his life took a sudden and dramatic turn. Roberts was captured by a pirate captain named Davis, who gave him the offer to join them. Initially, Roberts was reluctant to join the pirate crew, but he soon realized that the pirate's life offered a freedom and fortune he could never find as a simple sailor. After Davis was killed, the crew recognized Roberts's cunning and skills and elected him as their new captain. His first act as captain was not one of celebration, but of cold revenge. He immediately attacked a Portuguese fort on Principe Island, razing it to the ground to avenge his former leader's death. Roberts would go on to become one of the most successful pirates of all time, capturing an astounding 470 vessels, including a formidable 20-gun French ship, which Roberts turned it into his own flagship, named the Royal Fortune. He amassed an incredible amount of wealth, fortune, and gold, but more importantly, he built a reputation that struck fear into the hearts of sailors across the seas. Roberts was also known for creating his own pirate code, which included rules for his crew and outlining the sharing of plunder and punishments for disobedience. Despite being a pirate, Roberts was quite a religious man, and was also known for discouraging drunkenness on this ship. Roberts met his end in 1722. His death is often seen as the end of the Golden Age of Piracy, but his legacy lives on as one of the most successful and fascinating pirates in all of history.